All right, so being 7 o'clock, January 10th, 2023, we're going to open the Conservation Commission meeting. It is being recorded with Area 58, first, and Ed and Camille, and myself. So first thing on the meeting is 0 and 592 Plymouth Street, Outback Engineering, wetland peer review conducted by Ecosystem. Thank you for sharing.
Put on the to-do buy list. Right over here in the corner.
Like. Thank you. Now, is this the new plan?
I just grabbed one.
Because this is from
Oh, here's the new one.
June. Oh, you haven't,
No, it's
but
his
they're all,
plans.
but they're all June. So I think,
Oh, he'll have one up there.
yeah,
Use
we
this
don't
as a-
have the new plan.
So this is it. I know we just got comments back from ESI yesterday to confirm they were good with the wetland line, so that's what this plan represents
That's the one with the
here.
comments from the adjusted
Yes,
lines.
yep.
Okay, so this is an old one, right?
No,
Let me just take a quick look.
That's from June.
Yeah, that's the old one.
Do you have new ones for
I
us to
didn't
have?
bring additional copies. I figured we would, have a discussion tonight and then,
Yeah, when he gets a chance, he can fire some them over.
Okay.
After.
so, I'm not sure how best to situate this. No, I'm just trying to make it so everyone can see
Okay,
it.
560.
Oh, if you could
560,
talk to
yeah.
us.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just wondering, where is this at? I thought I was talking about the property, I was coming here about the property behind.
Okay, we can,
So I'm at 562.
okay, so we just
This
gotta
is
let him
fine.
do a presentation,
Okay.
and then we can take
Sure.
comments from
Okay, that's
everybody
fine.
out there, if that's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So I appreciate your taking the time. And I'm Jim Pavlik with Outback Engineering. And this is a project that's been pending before the commission for a while now. We refiled with the planning board, and we have since worked with the commission and their consultant, ESI, to review the wetland line. We just got that approval from them yesterday. So this plan shows the difference. The black line here was the original flagging. And based on the new flagging, it's the red flags which pushed the boundary out about 20 feet or so in some areas. So this line is the 50-foot buffer, and the 100-foot buffer extends pretty much all across the, I'm sorry, it goes over this way. The lot here, and this is 592 Plymouth Street here, the existing red house with the barn, and this is the vacant lot where there's an existing gravel parking area out front here, and the rest of the site is wooded.
Okay.
So,
So, on the new line,
yes.
so you incorporated the WF 1A through 5A,
Yes.
and made that, and then how about, I know they had written for WF 25 and 26, they said were accurately delineated, but they felt that 27, 28, and 29 were missing in the field. Were they added?
These were rehung.
They were rehung.
Yeah.
And then 30 through 34, they felt should be moved. Were those moved? Said WF 30 through 34 were aggressive and should be moved if they are to accurately delineate the wetland boundary. Do you know if those,
Okay, I didn't see that comment, but that's further down here, and it's not going to affect what we're doing.
but if we're going to accept that line, it would need to be
So
correct, or else we can't.
I can make a short story. I think we're expecting to get continued tonight. We still have to meet with the planning board and go through additional review with them. So at this point, I was just looking to get feedback, and we can take another look at those flags.
So I guess, yeah, my opinion, I would just want everything to be accurately delineated before we accepted the line.
Okay.
Okay.
My understanding was he was good with all of the flags, so I
Madam Chair,
didn't read that
Yes.
specifically.
I'm Brandon Fanuc with the SI.
Oh, hi.
How you doing? It was Bruce Webb, my associate, that did the field review and came up with the report. He couldn't make it here today, he had to be somewhere else, but I'm covering, but he's been keeping me up to speed. I can give a little explanation
Okay.
if you want. Okay. So, excuse me. The green line here is what we're agreeing on, but from what Bruce told me that his agreement on the wetland line goes to flag 26, and that past that, he didn't agree with it. There was some flags missing in the field anyway, but I thought that he was talking to you and said that you could stop it there anyway, and you don't even need to verify the flags further down because everything's happening up here.
That was my understanding, so he wasn't talking with me, it was Greg Drake from my office.
Greg
So
Drake,
that's why I might be missing
Okay.
something in the translation here, so I appreciate you clarifying.
Right, so and not only that, you see how it dips down here? There's a head wall from drainage from the street, and it's obviously, when they put the pipe in, they put in fill that's covered with multiflora rose and oriental bittersweet, and that's an upland area, and we didn't want to make a situation in the future where you call it the DPW or Highway Department.
Highway
Highway Department.
Yeah.
So we don't want to make it difficult for the Highway Department to access the head wall if they ever need to. So they will, it's true that it's upland access to begin with, but I want to make sure that it get called out. So when they go down here with equipment, that they can work in an upland area
Got it.
and not have to come to you because of whatever has to happen with an emergency with the outfall. So it dips down a little bit right here to the outfall. And then again, it's going to follow this green line with the red flags and a few of the old black colored flags. But our agreement on the flag line ends at flag 26. So I think that this could be approved
Just to 26.
just to 26. And then what you can say is that anything beyond 26 is not part of the verification process. And if you're okay with it.
Yeah, I don't think that.
34 is out of the picture.
It's out of the picture.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I know it's been a while since we've been here to discuss the project, so do you want me to go through a full discussion on what we're proposing, or?
Yeah.
I'd say just stick pretty much to the conservation spot.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. So again, as I had indicated, the 100-foot buffer zone extends out here into Plymouth Street, and then it cuts across the corner of the building, and then across this part of this lot here.
Yeah, that's my lot. So I'm just wondering,
Again,
okay, so.
Hi, I'm sorry,
excuse
if
me.
you could address us, please.
All right, I guess I'm just not getting the whole thing, but I'm asking what that building is. He's saying this building and that lot. I need specifications.
Yeah, could you
What-
clarify a little bit?
Yeah,
Sure. So this is the existing house, the red house.
that's my house. It's not red, it's blue now, but yes.
That's your house.
Yeah. If I may, Neil Taylor, property manager of the owners.
Okay.
There's a red house down the street on 592 Plymouth Street, right across the street.
92. Okay.
Right across the street from the gas station.
Okay.
There's a house and a big
Oh,
red barn.
I see, okay. Yeah.
Which address is your house?
562, yeah.
562,
I'm
I
a-
think.
It's still.
562
the numbers.
Plymouth?
Yes.
Plymouth Street?
Yes.
So either she's on the other side,
Yeah.
Oh,
or
okay.
she's all the way over here on this side.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
So,
sorry.
No,
that's
no
all right.
problem.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
We'll clarify.
Sorry, I just,
We
yeah.
can pull up Google on the map if you like.
No, that's fine, I'm sorry.
No worries. So just to
I thought this
confirm.
was about the drainage thing.
No worries.
But, okay.
No worries. So just to recap and to continue the
Okay,
wetland.
all right.
Okay.
As Jim was saying, if we agree with the line that the review engineer had gone through.
Yes.
The green line will go up until where our
26.
effective project is going to be effective. We're not touching any part
So
of the
that's on the
other
other side. But it's even numbers. That's what I don't get. It's even numbers on that side of the street.
I don't know where your house is, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, no, you have even numbers on one side of the street and you have odd on the other.
Right.
So when he's saying this, he's saying even numbers. I don't get that. Okay, all right. I don't know.
That would be an assessor's.
I'm sure you're right. I'm sure
No
you're right.
worries.
Yeah.
So
okay.
for our presentation and our part.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay.
For our presentation and our part. The 50-foot buffer is shown, the 100-foot buffer is shown. For our project, we would only be working on the 0 Plymouth Street as well as 592, not on
Yeah.
562. or-
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
We have almost 10 acres of land to work with. The uplanded area that we're working with is up near the road where there's already an indentation and already a gravel area that's already there. Our plan is to construct and build a building within the 100-foot into the edge of the 50-foot buffer. Our plan is also to have a parking lot as well as a infiltration basin. As well, our plan is to have a residual parking lot on 592 Plymouth Street's parcel and their upland. And we will be working with the planning board after we go through that process to see if these are enough for parking spaces on both parcels, because I think we split them fairly even.
Yeah.
Now, with the new line, does that affect you going into the 50-foot at all? Or are you still outside the 50?
We are outside the 50 up until, I believe, just the edge of one of the parking structures.
Yeah, the corner of the parking area is inside the 50, but this is the existing tree line here, which we were going to hold as the work limit. So this is an existing gravel parking area now, where it's going to be loamed and seeded. And then in order to accommodate the parking, we'd just be paving that little bit of a corner
Yeah.
and building the berm of the basin in this area.
Yeah.
So we're maintaining at least a 30-foot minimum.
I would want you to stay out of the 50-foot completely. You had a question?
I did. I'm concerned with you being within the 50-foot, especially with parking, because you have the asphalt, you're going to have runoff. Do you have a plan for the runoff? Because it's going to be sanded and salted, and it's
Yes.
not going to be any good for the wetland. I also would prefer you stay out of the 50-foot.
Okay. There is a stormwater plan. We have prepared a drainage report, and we're in full compliance with the DEP stormwater management regs.
Are you in compliance with our bylaws, which are stricter?
The stormwater bylaw?
Yes, and it was updated, it's not, the correct ones are not online. I have a copy here, I can run upstairs and make you a copy of the new bylaws. May of 2021. May of 2022.
I believe we have taken that into account.
Okay,
We didn't have to comply with the stormwater bylaw permit itself or the land disturbance permit, because we're under 1 acre total disturbance.
in Halifax, it is 1 acre and under. That's how we're also stricter. And there's a biosolid permit that's also needed.
1 acre and over requires the.
No, that's the state law. Our bylaws are 1 acre and under.
I thought it was 1 acre or over. And we have the option to ask for additional wetlands.
Now, what we could do is support staying outside of the buffer for the parking area itself. What we would work on doing is either double checking the radius of the turning radiuses. I believe the geometry of why we're designing the parking structure as we have it currently is we would not be cutting any additional trees, because this is where the gravel is already there. My
So
understanding is
that could be
radius of-
revegetated, that
Yeah.
area.
So we were, you know, in the idea of it was to revegetate everything up until the pavement line. So if we had to come back to redesigning the geometry of the turning radius for, say, a fire truck or a car to back out, we would just have to make sure that there's enough distance for when a car pulls in, and if they're able to back out and turn around. For the infiltration and the berm, I don't know if we have enough geometry to avoid the 50-foot buffer.
Because it is a 50-foot no touch in Halifax.
Is there any way, it looks like pretty much affects that one parking spot, is it? The one on the top left?
Yes,
Is there any way to eliminate that one parking spot? Or
there would be if we're able to gain in another spot on the other parcel. It would be affecting the 100-foot buffer, not the 50-foot buffer.
I'm more
So
comfortable with
if we're
that.
able to,
Yeah.
you know, delete these two, shift these over and up, and eat into the 2 or 3 spots on the other parcel, then that would
Yeah,
obey the 50-foot buffer, satisfy the 30-foot buffer, no touch, and satisfy the 1 acre or that formula. We'll have to double check it in the office. But I think that would be a solution for everyone, and then we have the flexibility.
yeah.
So we can revisit that. We could also look at a different type of infiltration structure there, possibly to do underground, a smaller footprint,
Yeah,
underground chambers or something.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, we're just concerned about the 50, like this.
Absolutely, absolutely, but we'd
But
like
we
to
always
have
are
a-
flexible, somewhat flexible, not always flexible, but somewhat flexible on the 100. so-
Correct. So for the infiltration basin, we do need it on this parcel, I believe. And
Yeah,
because we are trying to,
Yeah, all the work on this lot is outside the 50-foot.
yeah.
So I guess if you could work on that and then come back and,
absolutely.
Yeah, you have to go in front of the planning board anyway,
Yeah,
so.
so, but we just wanted to make sure that the conservation was in the loop and that the review engineering team was able to, you know, modify or add notes to where they needed to. And we would be confident and comfortable to answer any additional questions to the planning board.
Any other concerns about this?
do you have another question?
No, I have the bylaws here, and it is the new ones that were adopted. They went into effect in 2022. It is 1 acre or less. In here, it does say that they would need a minor stormwater management permit.
They would need it, or do
They
we?
would need it, just
Oh,
the
we
minor
request one.
stormwater. It require a minor stormwater management permit from the Stormwater Authority prior to commencement. And then if there's any application of biosolids, such activities would require a stormwater permit.
Biosolids, what would that entail?
It's a lengthy list. What do you intend on using the property for?
Small office building,
Small office building?
yeah. We're
So-
not laundromat, not anything commercial, it's just
No,
office building.
no storage of landscaping materials, construction
No.
materials, beauty materials and
No.
things like that, so it would just be the snow removal you'd be concerned of, and the sand and different, and the
Like a low
salt,
salt.
sand, and
Okay.
those type of things would be the biosolids we're concerned of, but we'd be concerned of those regardless because you're so close to the no touch.
Okay. So that would be like a no salt area type sign type of thing, or? Yeah, 'cause I do the plowing, so it's not too complicated.
Any questions, anybody out here?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
My name's Brian Alden. I'm a resident, 82 Carver Street. And I'm just looking at how close are they to my 82 Garden Street?
Are you right off the
I
corner?
can't really see it from here. 'cause
Come on up.
I don't have glasses, but yeah.
Are you guys
I'm concerned about my property. It's right here.
These are the new
you
ones.
guys the
Yeah,
ones?
that's what I-
So, where we at? Where we at?
You guys are all the way over here. So you got the fence going on there?
I'm trying to write the meeting minutes at the same
Look at
time.
the signage somewhere.
Okay. So we're not gonna be affecting,
Oh, so you're going on the other,
yeah, on the other side.
off
So
of Carver
I'm
Street.
on that side.
Yeah,
Where's Carver Street? Right here?
right
So
here.
now the signage.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh, so you're coming off
Last minutes
that
are coming too. I just gotta type them, Kathy, and send them to Susan.
crossing Doyle?
I can barely read my writing.
No, this is the same side of the street as
Okay,
you, but
okay.
Yeah,
it's just further down Plymouth
All
Street.
right, here's the red barn, and here's the barn here. All right.
all righty.
I don't see what she says in here.
They're hugging up.
I can see that, the over
I
acre,
steal some eggs
which was the
sometimes.
original. When it's within the
No, the chickens
lake,
come over once in a
I'll sell
while.
them to you.
it's, you need a minor stone permit
All right, I
with
just
the
want to see
lake.
that, thanks.
No worries.
Thank you, appreciate
I
it.
don't see anything
I'm
with
Brian.
minor stone.
Nice meeting you.
Oh,
All right, Edward, Kathy, nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
You're very
Kimberly.
intelligent. I like the way you plug in.
Can you, please repeat your name for me for the meeting?
that's the current one.
Brian,
It doesn't say it's forced.
Does anybody else have any?
Oh, sorry, sorry, out of control.
Okay.
Well,
Well, I wasn't sure if it was AIM, so. Okay.
All right, thank you.
And I missed what you had
Yeah,
said to them. What
Kim.
what were
I
your
just want to see
concerns?
how far it was close to my house.
Okay.
Because, you know, he explained it, yeah, because it's a little,
No, that's all right. If you.
I know, I was
I
on the
don't
other
sit in
side of the
front of these
road.
all day,
I
so-
know. I was on the
I
other
gotta
side of
Put
the
my
road.
glasses on then?
as long as
Or am I reading out of the regulations?
If you go on the town's website, the assessors have the GIS mapping.
Sure.
So sometimes you can toggle it to show the Google Maps and the overlay,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can see your structure, your
Yeah,
house,
right.
compared to the
I
other.
know, but the more
My
stuff,
wife will do it.
All right,
listen, the more stuff that.
Sorry, I just
on
built all
it,
this.
that's all right.
Okay, any other questions from anybody out?
All right, thank you for your information.
Not on this.
No? Okay, set then, so, do you have one other?
Thank you.
Can I please have you repeat your name for
Yes,
the meeting?
Emile C. Taya,
Can you please spell that?
Emile C. Taya, Tayeh.
Much appreciated. Thank you very much.
So, make it, so if we continue this, is that okay?
Yeah, and hopefully during the next meeting, if we ask for the continuous, we will be requesting you guys to vote on the line. And then what else would we be requesting? So that we're just make sure it's all on the same page.
All the work within the buffer zone, so.
All the work within the 100-foot buffer zone,
Yeah.
not the 50-foot. Because we will be able to take the advice that you guys gave us tonight about no touch on the 50-foot. We will reconfigure the parking to squeeze in the 2 spots on the other side.
Okay.
We just have
I'd
to...
just like clarification though, because it just makes sense to me. This is an existing gravel parking area that should be loamed and seeded. It's within the 50-foot.
Now, you guys are requesting us not to touch it,
I-
leave it alone as gravel, or?
I would leave it alone if it's within the 50, whatever it is there. What are your, anybody outside?
Our intention
I
was
know it's
to
on,
reseed
is that
it.
the big indent, like the all gravel going all the way
It's
in?
all gravel,
Yeah.
so it's all
Yeah.
flat and it's all gravel
It's a mess.
right up to this tree line, so.
If you want to keep it
We were wanting to bring it in and loom it, and
Make it look
put
better.
topsoil and, you know, not raise the elevation, but to reduce it down.
Another thing that I also might want to consider is putting in, at the 50-foot, like put fencing, so we know where that 50-foot line is.
We were intending simple 4x4 posts with
The sign.
the
the
little
sign.
signs, you know, you guys.
Yeah.
I know Hanson does it, the $2,
We have,
Wetland
yeah, we have
signs,
those signs. Just with this project so big, I might,
every
Yeah.
20 feet or 50 feet, they made us put
Yeah.
4x4s, the,
yeah.
I believe in the signs. Personally, I think of a fence, personally, I don't see
No.
the purpose.
I
If you
think
have the
it's just
signs
these-
up, people know not to touch it.
I think just with the fence, you know where it is, and there's no, less apt to go beyond it.
The
I think my parking lot, the actual paved area is where the cars are gonna park, just like they're gonna have spray painted parking spots. I do not believe or have concern that people will drive off the paved area to park their car down in the mud or in the dirt.
I'd have to agree with Kathy on the fencing,
Okay.
and only because it's less, the signs can disappear often.
All right, now
There
can we
may
do
not be
those
visible
split posts,
to.
Like a
like
post
we're
and
going to do
rail.
up
Like-
front?
Just a 4-foot post and rail.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. That seems very smooth. It'll create a nice transition for the parking
Yeah.
space. Wonderful.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to continue for the next meeting, which is the 24th. I think we'll have to do the 7:20 because I think we have 2 things already.
And then, Jim, if do you have any other questions or concern while we're here? I think those are the only 2 spots, and fence and post will be perfect.
Mhm.
Perfect. And then hopefully you guys have your answers that you need.
So,
All right, I put a motion to continue this on the 24th at 7:20.
And second,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll go over this one with her.
Okay.
I have the bylaws, so I can keep them in the book.
Do you have the bylaws?
This part?
Yeah, I just want to keep them in the book.
Yeah.
And the,
We'll go over that
and
later.
the new regulations.
Okay, so this is all, this one. And
The
then-
regulations gotta go in this book too.
Oh, sorry,
No, that's okay.
this one here.
Yeah, that's why I was looking for the whole punch out.
Okay, then the 7:30, we'll do the 7:10 for 359 Plymouth Street. Hello.
Well, I don't think we've met yet, but my name is Paul Davis with Grady Consulting, here on behalf of the applicant, D'Angeli Landscape, for 359 Plymouth Street. We've been in front of the commission before. To bring you up to speed, Kathy, this site is for a proposed contractor storage with some office space. And there is a wetland in the back that we are proposing to have replicated so that we can develop a site that would stay outside of the 50-foot buffer. Where we last left this, the wetland line was going to undergo a peer review. And so I guess the question to the board would be what the status of.
Yeah,
all
and I
that is.
apologize, I emailed you later today.
I just
So
throw it right into
so,
the meeting.
yeah.
It's okay.
I apologize for not emailing you sooner.
Yeah.
We haven't set that up yet.
Okay.
So I didn't know if we could hopefully get that figured out in the next couple days and get you back on the docket for the next meeting, if we can get that done in time.
I was at the planning board meeting, Paul, but if you can refresh my memory, because I can't remember. Did they ask you guys to add onto the maps the 2 outer buildings that were going to be built, that were the 3 bays for his storage of the mulch and the salt and things like that?
Yeah, we're in the process of revising the plans.
Okay.
I did not have that ready for this meeting.
Nope, that's okay.
But yeah, we had a punch list of 9 items that we are going through with the planning board. And if we update the site plan and submit to the planning board, we'll certainly provide you with a copy as well.
Good.
I think they sent me the photo today of what they have, so I'll make sure we get that to the plan.
Yeah, because all the boards would need the updated plans when they're amended. And then I wanted to let, Ed and Kathy weren't here when you were in front of us on the 13th, that they plan on using salt, and under the Water Management Act, MGL Chapter 21G, and the drinking water regulations, 310 CMR 2221 2B. And also, just a teeny portion of this property falls into Zone 2, which abuts Morse Brothers. Can't have salt unless it's under very strict guidelines per the state. It has to be up on concrete, I forget how many inches. It has to be the 4 4 walls completely confined, the roof, and all of those things. And Morse Brothers did express concern of runoff to their berries because they sell international and they just have concerns.
Will that be with the planning board, the building specs and all that?
And I think it was discussed with the
I don't
planning
know.
board meeting. Was it, about the salt being up on?
Yeah, I just wanted the board to be aware of it because we share different roles on the stormwater management and all those different things, that everybody's on the same page, it's in everybody's minutes, that the public doesn't think anybody forgot about it, because they're really concerned about this project, so.
I did speak to the applicant regarding the materials he keeps on site, and he did tell me that, I mean, the materials will be on site at some point, but what his company typically does is he brings it on site and he uses it. He doesn't keep landscaping material on site year round, so in the winter, his current site is empty. That's when, in the winter, then the salt comes in the spring, the salt is gone, that type of thing. So even though he does keep it on site, it's only there temporarily, but he does keep it on site, so we'll make sure it goes on checklist.
Okay. So I guess the next thing we have to do is the peer review, and then we can get that line approved and go from there.
My next question would be, where salts are biosolid, will they need their permit, their biosolid permit?
We can look into that, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Do you have a stormwater management plan? Or-
Yeah, we've submitted a stormwater report to
Yeah.
the planning board.
So you're just wondering if they need the biosolids?
Yeah, I just don't want you to miss or have to come back. You've been in front of all the boards multiple times. We haven't had quorums, we keep asking you to come back. I just want to make sure or be able to know that whether or not you need the biosolid permit or not for your applicant.
We're looking, what was the planning board meeting, was it last week? Last Thursday? Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to completely dive into it yet, but we will look into it.
that.
We will make sure,
Yeah.
when we come for a vote,
We could-
everything's been checked off.
Because do they go through planning or conservation for the biosolid permit? I think it's us.
Yeah.
I never heard that, but giving out permits for bio.
Well, if it's for the stormwater management, that would be with ours, I believe.
Yeah, still water, yes. but-
Yeah. So we'll find out. We'll look into it also.
Quick thing, how long will it take this to get a peer review done? Because we're going to continue to the next meeting. It's not going to be done in
That's
time.
Do you want to go to the next meeting, then
On
if
the
it's
one
not
after.
done, continue it on,
so
or just
in-
go for a month?
In working with planning board asked us to go get the special permit through zoning first, before going back to planning board. And looking at the zoning board schedule, they won't meet until the second Monday of February.
No,
That's the next one we could make. This happens with other projects in other towns, but which board goes first and when do you want to fall? I guess when would the commission want to fall on the line?
I'd say after they go in front of the ZBA, make sure they get their permit, see what the planning board has to say, and then we can all read the stormwater management report that you've already turned it in to them.
To them, yeah, that sounds good.
I'd say February, just all the boards are on the same page, you've gone through the process, we can submit any new concerns we might have where everybody's working together. You can come back and tell us what new bullet points that each board has given you that we need to take into consideration.
That would also give us a little time to address some of the comments from planning board and
Yeah.
get some new plans into you.
Yeah, they gave you a lengthy list, and there was even more community members last week at planning for this property, so.
All right, so
what-
our meetings would be February 14th and then February 28th would be our meetings in
I
February.
believe the next zoning is the 14th as well.
So do you want to
Is that a
come
month?
So we'll do the 28th?
This is a Tuesday. Did you want to plan on the 28th then?
Yeah.
Come to us then? And we can make it at 7 o'clock? You can be our first one?
Great.
I put a motion that we have a continuance. Okay,
228, correct? So
359 Plymouth Street for February 28th, 7 p.m.
And a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I apologize, I didn't ask if anybody had questions on this. No? Okay. All set, so we'll see you February 28th?
We'll be in touch.
Yep, and I'll look into that peer review and get back to you on that too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then the only other thing we have here is with discussion was our open meeting law complaint that we had. And for that meeting, I think, were you there?
What day?
The 13th.
No, I wasn't here for the 13th.
It was me, Steve, and Colleen.
And so what happened was that
I don't know, we only briefly read the open meeting complaint. You were with us, and you had to go home sick, and we weren't in our regular room, so there was no equipment, so we had to go around to the other room.
Because we
And there was
wanted
some
meeting
sort of Area 58 issue, and the young gentleman had to tape the meeting with his phone.
Okay.
And he gave a big, long lecture to why he had to use his phone. It was being recorded, and all of these things.
So it was addressed. It was.
It was
to
said,
the public.
it was said, and it was odd, and they kept kind of reconfiguring. It was
It
different.
wasn't the greatest
But-
thing, but
I'm sorry, what is Area 58?
That's the
the YouTube.
The cable.
The cable.
cable, the local
They
cable
videotape all the meetings and they
So
post them online.
There's no discussion about the last meeting that you guys had, about the property on Carver Street.
No, that's not.
That was a big 63. Was it 63,000?
That's not on our agenda.
Not
on
on
our
our
agenda
agenda.
tonight.
That's, I think,
That's
upstairs. in the
upstairs
select
at
board.
7:30.
Oh, God, jeez.
You're missing it.
Well, unless they're a little late, you can.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
But,
No, that's
you
not
know
on
what?
agenda.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, sorry.
All right, sorry,
All right.
thanks.
So, anything else for
sorry.
tonight that anybody has?
Yeah, but listen.
Do we have any
Make a
bills or
motion-
anything?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, if we have nothing else, I put a motion we adjourn.
And
I'm missing
second?
being, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Am I supposed